All right, guys, how's it going? Hey, I've been wanting to do this recipe for a little while. I was actually wanting to do it with Spencer, but we haven't had a chance to get together and do it, even though we spend a lot of time together, but we haven't been able to catch either enough fish or whatever the case may be, or time. But anyway, if you clicked on this video, you're probably curious about what's going to happen. So yes, this is what I call catfish pizza. It's been a family staple for quite some time now. How this dish started, me and my dad, years ago, we were trying to figure out different ways to eat catfish. So we were trying to, fry it, bake it, blacken it, you name it. And then we just sat down one day because we had some catfish laying around and we figured, let's just come up with a different way to cook it. So I'm going to go through the build-up process of how we do what I call catfish pizza. And it's actually really, really good. If you guys get a chance to try out this recipe, of course, what I'm doing is how I do it. So you can, by all means, change it up, add things, take away things, but this is the way we kind of like to do it. But first off, we're gonna, what we would call the crust, because I know when people say pizza, they think there's an actual dough crust, but there's not a dough crust, and we use the catfish fillets as basically the crust. But the trick is to this, you want to make sure that you trim as much of the red meat off of catfish as possible. That's pretty much any fish, because that fat has an off-putting taste, but there's a couple things we'll add that'll help remove the rest of that fishy taste. But yeah, because if you, especially first time, somebody eating fish for the first time, you want to get rid of that red meat, because that'll put them off of fish for a long time. But anyway, so we're going to start off with, I can't remember what size pan this is, but it's one of your bigger, I don't know, baking pans or whatever they are. You got to have two of them, and I'll explain why later on in the process. But you start off with a big pan. Now what'll happen is as you cook it, this will shrink down a little bit, so you got to account for that. That's why we always use a big pan instead of a small one. For the toppings and ingredients we got, we're going to use a can of Rotel. I don't know if I'll use all of this, but it's got all the tomatoes and green chilies and everything we need in it. Plus I've got some cut up green peppers, mushrooms, onions, and green olives stuffed with garlic. So, and I got some bacon, and then we got this Mexican style cheese. This cheese blend is, I don't know, the taste of it's really, really good, but obviously we like a lot of cheese on our pizza, so that's gonna be it. But so we could go ahead and get this thing started. Let me get some butter. I meant to get some butter. I figure this video will be kind of neat for a random Saturday video, something a little bit different than what you typically see throughout the week. But either way, what we're going to do to get started is I'm going to take some lemon juice, and we're going to, as we go through this, you'll say that, okay, yeah, there's a lot of liquid in there, but again, I'll go through the process as we get to cooking it. But take this lemon juice, you want to add, none of this, there's no measurements. Y'all play with this as much as you want. This is how much lemon juice I use. I don't really measure anything. We've never measured anything doing this type of pizza. But the next biggest ingredient is going to be your Tony's Creole seasoning. Can't go wrong with that. That goes great on everything. And then again, you just want to kind of coat it. That should do it, I think. And then after we put that on there, you want to put butter in it. Now the butter, well, this type of butter that we use puts a lot of good flavor in it. And that's the biggest thing we want to have, is we want to have all kinds of different flavors, and they'll all come together in the end. But just take some of these, just kind of spread them out. Yep. Probably should have had this cut up beforehand, huh? That'll be enough butter. It'll all melt and marry down with each other. All right, next thing we're going to put on there is some Rotel. Now you can add, I used to drain the juice out of this stuff, but you don't have to do that because you're going to drain all the juices out here pretty soon once it gets about halfway cooked, which I'll show you that once it's been on the smoker for a little while. So we're going to put it on the smoker. It's going to be covered for the first half of it. I'm going to keep the smoker at about probably 250, 275 degrees because you really don't want to cook it all too fast. You want all these ingredients to kind of cook down with each other. So this part of it's pretty simple. You're just going to kind of spread all this out. I mean, you could use like a tomato sauce if you wanted to, kind of like a spaghetti sauce, or I don't know about a pizza sauce, but I guess if you wanted to, you could try that. But you just want to get a good healthy layer of this on there. I think that looks all right. What do you think? Okay. So after that, I got some pre-cooked bacon. You don't have to pre-cook bacon. It's just we like the crispiness of the bacon, so we go ahead we fry it prior to. But because we like a lot of bacon, we cooked a lot of bacon. But this is just nothing more than, you could break it up. You could spread it out however you want to. We just like it this way, so that way pretty much every cut when you get done has bacon in it. Throw a couple extra pieces on there just to be on the safe side. Can't go wrong with too much bacon. All right, then we're going to do a layer of cheese, just a kind of a thinner layer of a cheese because that's going to kind of hold all that stuff together. Now my hands weren't so greasy, I can get this open. Got a knife. Yep, so we'll just do a kind of a thin layer of cheese because as that melts, it's just going to hold all this stuff together because the healthy layer is going to come last. Alright, that'll be good for now. Then we just go on with our toppings. We like a lot of mushrooms, so we're just gonna put a bunch of mushrooms on there. Try to spread them out as best you can. Now you could go with, you could actually add pepperoni and stuff like that if you really wanted to. I just don't know how the fats from the pepperoni would taste with the actual catfish. So we try to keep just the acid or the fats and stuff like that pretty comparable to each other. So obviously, you know, the fish is going to be a little fatty, so the lemon juice is going to work real well with it, plus the butter will also. And of course the bacon fat that comes off the bacon on here just goes great with anything. Couple more pieces, we should be good. All right, well, next we'll layer on some onions. Spread out as best possible. Like I said, these toppings, completely your own idea what you want to put on it. As far as vegetables, you could even do jalapenos. It's just, I love jalapenos, but it seems like the older I get, the more my body doesn't love jalapenos, so we got to keep them off of there. And outside of the Creole seasoning, that is the only seasoning we put on here. Outside of the, that it's just a pretty much, fresh ingredients out, with outside of the Rotel. I guess that's fairly fresh. It's canned fresh. I guess it's still fairly fresh. A little bit more onion. All right, so we got that. So I'm gonna throw on these green olives. You could do black olives if you like. I don't much care for black olives. I like the green olives more than I do the black olives. But these ones got they were garlic stuffed, so that'll be good. Try to get all them garlics on there. All right, so that's that. Now we're gonna go on with our healthy layer of cheese. Just need to make sure all the corners are covered. All the toppings you just put on it are fairly covered. But again, add, take away, as much cheese as you want. But either way, you just can't go wrong by doing it this way. It's a whole new way to eat these fish. It's very good. It's better than fried in my opinion. We didn't need 2 bags. And then as the topper, we'll throw on some green onions on top of it because they just give it a real nice, flavor on the very top when you cut your piece and go to eating it. That thing looks delicious already. Nope, had an olive escape. All right, that thing is ready for the grill. I think I'm going to cook it to start off with, like I said, 250 degrees. I'm going to cover it, which is what I got here. So I'm going to cover it for the first half. Probably go, I don't really know the total time on this. I will follow it up at the end of this video. But usually about an hour, hour and a half, I guess would be the first time because you want everything to just kind of cook down. At 250 degrees, it takes a while. And then once we get done with that, we'll uncover it. Then we're going to drain the juice in it, which I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll let everything, all the juice just kind of cook off of it so everything firms up. And after that, let it go for another hour, let the smoke hit it, and it's going to be good. All right, like I said, I'm going to put it on my smoker covered up. It's going to go for about an hour, hour and a half. Yep, I got enough pellets. This old pit boss, we've cooked a lot of food on this thing, so don't mind the mess. I don't like cleaning my grills either. I think it takes away the flavor. But we'll see you in about an hour and a half. All right, y'all, so it's been an hour and a half. We've been maintaining it about probably 250, right around 275. So it is time to pull the top off this thing. Let me go ahead and get this thing uncovered because this is obviously hot. Oh yeah. Set that over here. So basically that's what it's looking like right now. So I'll show you the next step of this. And I got my little knife here. This is where it gets kind of messy. Get down in here and you want to open that up. That's why I was talking about you got to have you got to have 2 of these pans because to get this out of here and bring it back in the house. And just make random holes all the way through it. then all that'll drain out, all the juice will drain out, everything will firm up, the catfish and stuff will firm up. So at this point, all you're looking at is you're gonna wait for the cheese to look like the cheese on a pizza, how it gets brown and stuff like that. So that's the only thing you're waiting on at this point. You're just gonna let it keep going and kind of get some more holes in here. But you can see all that juice. Well, the good thing about this is I got a little thing right down there that catches all the juice. So that's why I always do it on my smoker, nothing else. Make a couple more holes in here. All right, she is looking good, but that's what you wanted to do. You wanted everything to cook through. And like I said, we're just waiting for the cheese to brown up. We're waiting for the fish to kind of firm back up again, and then it'll be ready to eat. All right, y'all, I pulled it off the grill. This is the final product. Look at that dude there. That looks awesome. It's one of my favorite ways. Let me get this camera set up. But it's one of my favorite ways to eat catfish. Hang on a second. The lighting is terrible. But anyway, it's one of my favorite ways to eat catfish. It's really good. We rather enjoy it here. I'm gonna cut me off a piece and we're gonna give her a taste test. But you got all your catfish, you got all your ingredients, you got everything you need, you got the bacon on top, the cheese. It's gonna be pretty good. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and it smells outstanding. Y'all, this is good. Now see, hold on. It's a little hot. Really good. Now, like I was saying, you could change any of the ingredients, all this. You could do what you want. Just what I showed you is how we like to eat it, and it's actually really good. I mean, you could spice it up some with some jalapenos. We've done that before, and that tastes really good that way too. But it's good. Total cook time was we did an hour and a half with it covered because you wanted to make sure everything was cooked, and I wanted all the vegetables and stuff, to kind of cook down and all that into the fish. Uncovered, I think I did right at about another hour. So I kept my smoker at about 250, 275. It's a warm day today, so it kept wanting to climb up to 275. But that's what I did, and man, I'll tell you what, it's, you get tired of, eating fried catfish or anything like that. Man, y'all have got to give it a shot. And I've got some homemade ranch, a little bit of ranch dressing, tartar sauce. I've seen other people that have ate this, they've add a little mustard, I guess. You just do whatever you want with it, really, at this point. But y'all, that is what I call catfish pizza, and it is to die for. It's really good. So, if you like this little cooking segment, one of my videos, I got a couple of the recipes that we do. So all you do is hit me up in the comments, let me know, because I like doing stuff like this. And like I said, I like to do this. I wanted to do this with Spencer because he does a lot of that cooking and stuff. So, but we just never got around to doing it. But man, it's good. But y'all give it a shot. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you ever seen something like this before, or you know, think of different ways that that you may try it and do something a little bit different. That'd be awesome, because, you know, I like reading the comments and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty cool to hear y'all's thoughts on this. But like always, I appreciate you watching this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.